Hello my friends, welcome to Together Run 42, is that correct? Thank you so much for being here today. It is a beautiful, a little bit chilly morning here in St. Louis, and I'm just about to get going, but before we begin, can we touch something of nature? Touch something that is alive or has been living, just something to ground you and remind you that we are all connected. And we are all part of this one beautiful Mother Earth. I'm going to touch different seedlings, the buds on the tree. Last time I touched them, they were really small, and now they're getting bigger, which is just wonderful to see. And actually, I've got something to share with you about that, about life and growing. I'm not pregnant. Just want to add that before anyone starts going down that path. But yeah, are we ready to begin? In 3, 2, and 1. I want to add, it's still, as I said, quite cold, and our snow is melting, and so there's obviously puddles of ice around, so I'm going to have to be a little bit careful this first half an hour, I think, to make sure I don't wipe out. So you may well hear me wipe out and swear if I like scrape all my legs up, because I've also chosen to wear shorts. Whether I will regret that decision, we will find out. But yeah, let's make sure priority number 1 is not to fall over for me today. Okay, so if this is your first Together Run, welcome. I'm excited you are here. And if this is your 42nd Together Run, welcome back. And I hope you enjoyed last week's run with Jennifer. That was really cool. She did such a good job, didn't she? And it was so clear. Really loving these guest hosted Together Runs. And if you want to do one, feel free to reach out and I'll give you some instructions on how you can. So, I may have underdressed today. Says she who has this what to wear winter running guide that is one of the most popular ones available. Still sometimes doesn't get it right herself. But I was trying to judge off the fact that the sun is up and it's meant to get to like 40, 45, 48 today. So I figured that was warm enough to not need shorts, only not need pants, but maybe I've judged this wrong, we'll see. Okay, so as we always do with these runs, we are going to start off. Let's take a nice deep breath. Great, thank you. We're going to start off by doing our body scan, which is going to be working from the top of your head down to your toes. And what that's going to mean is we're just going to check in with the various parts of our body, how they're feeling, how relaxed we are, if we're tight anywhere. It's just, again, grounding us into our bodies and how we're feeling, rather than, as what we can often do with our runs, get into the motions and not really pay attention to how our body is. Instead, just kind of, or at least I can, I should say I can only speak for myself, but I can get into this where I'm just thinking about other things. Okay, so you ready? I'm going to read out the body parts to you, and you can just follow it down your body. Ready? Starting at the top of your head, working your way down, around your eyes, round to the back of your head, bringing it back forward to your nose and your mouth, going into your chin, into your front of your neck, around to the back of your neck, going into your shoulders, into your upper arms, and down around the elbow, into the lower arms, into your wrists and fingers, going back to the torso, going down your chest, down into your stomach, around the back to your lower back, coming into your glutes, to your hips, your pelvis, working your way through into the tops of your thighs, going into your quads, around the back to your hamstrings, and down into your knees, into your calves, shin, going into your ankle, into your heel, an arch, into the top of your foot, and finally into your toes. How's your body feeling? Just take a moment to reflect. Okay, thank you for checking in with your body. Now, how are you? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you want to. How are you? I said when I did the Facebook Live in Superstars the other day, I got right up into the screen, really close to the camera, and asked the question. And I said how I love thinking about what you're saying to me in these moments. So this is another example of that. If we were together right now and I said, how are you? Really, what would you say? The sun is now coming onto my body and that feels good. If you run out of things to say, dig a bit deeper. What else would you tell me? Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you taking the time and energy and the vulnerability to work through that stuff. That's really good for all of us to be able to do. Right, next, we're going to come into doing our senses check-in, which means we're going to work through our 5, I don't want to say primary senses, but the 5 we all think about the most, ending with sight because we overuse our sense of sight. So to begin, I want you to tell me or think about, what do you smell and what do you taste? Because those two usually work together. What do you notice right now? What do you smell? What do you taste? For me, my nose was itching as if I was about to sneeze. But now I still taste the Filipino bread I enjoyed this morning as a first breakfast. I have my second breakfast when I get back. So good, so good. It was like purple, which I'm assuming means it was made using the I think they're called, can't remember the name, the potatoes, the sweet potatoes that are purple. I think they're Japanese sweet potatoes. Anyway, I think it's made during that. We're using that, and it's got like a cheese filling that's almost ube cheese, almost like sweet. It's so good. We're really loving those. So I'm very much still tasting that in my mouth, which is nice. And next, I'm going to have you just pay attention to the sounds using your auditory sense, your hearing. We're just going to take a little bit of time now and just listen. If it's safe for you to do so, remove your headphones and just pay attention. What do you hear? Try not to let your other senses impact things during this as much as you can. Keep your eyes on the road ahead and just listen. I love hearing the sound of our rhythmic footsteps as runners. It's kind of almost like meditative at times, right? I love hearing that. For me, the birds seem extra loud this morning, kind of like they're enjoying the beautiful sunny day. They're recognizing that it's warmer today. Just like they're appreciative and grateful. Okay, and next, I'm going to pay attention to our sense of touch. You're just going to be in your body, just paying attention to what sensations you feel, tactile, sense of touch, also maybe internally. What do you feel? Let's just be in our bodies for a moment. I want to add during this moment maybe a time where if you're feeling tired or heavy, you become well aware of that. Wow, I feel tired, or what I feel is heavy and sore, or heavy and just lethargic. If that's you, slow down. None of us know what pace each other is going right now. Doesn't matter. Give your body that recovery it needs if it's tired. If that's what you're feeling, slow down. Now. Do it now. And it'll feel awkward at first, but you'll settle into the pace and it'll feel good. Okay, back to your touch. A few more seconds. Okay. And finally, a sense of vision. Again, this time, I'm not going to guide you with lefts and rights, ups and downs, but make sure you do. If it is safe to do so, turn your head to the left for a few seconds, turn your head to the right, look up, look down. Try and pick small details in what your surroundings are that you haven't noticed before. Yesterday on my run, was it yesterday, the day before, I saw this giant rooster statue in someone's yard that was bigger than me. And somehow I'd never noticed that before. What, as they say in Encanto, in a much more profound way, but I'm going to use it because Bailey's obsessed with it right now. What do you see? So go on then, what do you see? And those who like Encanto will be going, I see me. Alright, what do you see? Okay, a few more seconds, and then we'll check in again. Okay, thank you for taking the time to check in with your surroundings, with your body, with your mind, maybe even with your heart. I appreciate you doing that. Your body appreciates you doing that, and hopefully gets you grounded for the rest of this run. Whether you're with the 30-minute group, where you're over halfway now, or you're in the 60-minute group and you got quite a way to go. It just feels good to start with the grounding. Okay, so at this point, I love to hear some updates for you. Tell me, if this is our first time running together, what would you tell me about yourself? And if you've been doing these many times, what updates would you have for me? So it could have been 2 weeks since we ran together, or longer. Could have been, you can take it from what you shared with Jennifer last week. What updates do you have? Give me a few more things that you'd want to share, and then I'll do some updating to you. Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the updates. I love imagining what you'd be sharing with me. And I love if I see your photos that you took, either during your run or when we take one together. I love seeing what you could have been sharing with me. And hoping that one day we can do this in person. Somehow, some way. So what would I be sharing with you? Well, I'd be saying that things are good. I did a hard workout yesterday. I shared this on a Facebook Live I did yesterday on Superstars. And by the way, if you aren't in Superstars, you're welcome to come join us. You can find links to it on my website, or just going to tinamuir.com/superstars. That will send you directly there. Do a Facebook Live, going to be doing one every month. And yesterday I did one, and I talked about the fact that I'd done my workout that morning. And Steve had told me, I want you to do he said you need to do a longer, harder effort. Because this time around, because my goal is the 50k, but even more than that, staying healthy for Kyle and Joe to run their marathons with them. My long runs we're keeping easy. Whereas typically for us, my long runs have been where quite a few of them have either ended up having efforts in them, like hard parts, or they're just most often kind of one big long progression run. So just kind of get faster roughly with every mile. Again, that's not forcing it. If I'm going on an uphill mile, maybe slower, and that's fine. If I'm going on a downhill mile, maybe faster, and then balance itself out. But generally, just kind of picking up the whole way. But this time around, because their marathon times will be between 4 and 5 hours, I'm keeping my long runs easy to get used to the time on my feet. So he wanted me to do a longer effort, and I've been doing about 10 to 11 miles roughly on workout days. And so I suggested, well, should I just do a 10-mile tempo? I mean, a 10-mile progression. And he said, yeah, that's great. Now, I wasn't going to go anywhere because I figured if I was going to do that, I could just run the streets around here, because I'm not really going to be able to get anywhere without driving quite a way, especially with the unknowns of the ice, to be worth it. So I stayed around here. However, unfortunately, within a few minutes of getting out the door, I didn't look at my watch, but I was aware that I was already running quite fast. I felt fast. And so I basically ended up going from out the door. First step, it was like immediate tempo. So no warm up. I did end up doing a cool down. I stopped at 8 miles, just made it an 8-mile tempo, and then jogged the last 3 miles. But still, it was not really the way you should be doing it. But that said, I'm really happy with how it went. I definitely didn't run the smoothest course. There were lots of turns. I was running amongst cars. And it's just kind of fun. I find those runs to be quite intimidating when you're thinking about them. Anything that's like a longer effort seems quite, not impossible, but like it's going to be rough. But I felt really strong. So it was, and I quite often do in those things, is I find with progression runs or longer efforts, they often feel worse than you think they're going to be. And then the shorter stuff, you end up thinking, oh, well, it's only this. And it feels like so much worse. That's at least my experience. So that's my running update. Work-wise, just plugging along. We shared yesterday in the Facebook Live. We're continuing together 22 goals. So if you missed out last month, come join us this month. We have a self-compassion week, and the challenge coming. And it's all about, it's not going to be lovey-dovey about Valentine's Day, because we recognize that not everyone, wants to think about that. It's a tough day for many. So we wanted to make it a self-compassion challenge because we may or may not be in relationships, like a partner, but we should all have a good relationship with ourselves and feel that appreciation for ourselves. So we figured, what can we do to help people work on that and see how they feel at the end? So there's going to be Zooms that you can join 1 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. These aren't to gain anything. We don't collect your email. We're not doing it for money. We're just doing it because, like with these together runs, we want to connect with the community. We want to build those bonds. And for those people who did come last month, they really got value out of it. And I think you will too. So come join us. Together 22 goals. There'll be lots of stuff in the email newsletter. If you haven't signed up, Running for Real, it's at runningforreal.com. Or I'll put a link in the show notes for this, so you can come join us for that. I really would love to see you. And I'll be on some of those calls. Okay, so that's that. And otherwise, trying to figure out, it's weird thinking about like the rest of going into the summer. I've booked Bailey in for 2 summer camps. She's never done anything like that. So thinking about summer, thinking about my parents coming to visit, thinking about going to see Steve's family. It's just like weird already thinking about the middle of the year of 2022. So that's really been a bit surreal for me, thinking through what the year's going to look like. I do have something incredible to share though. Not about me. Well, it is kind of me because I'm doing it, but I'm going down to Austin beginning of March, so there'll be an Austin Together run. With or without someone else, I'm not sure. But while I'm there, Brene Brown, for those who don't know my obsession with her, will be there that weekend. And a friend of mine got tickets for me and him to go to this event at University of Texas. She'll be there, and I'm just so excited at the concept of even being in the same room as her. So yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be amazing. And I'm probably going to be on cloud 9 when that's happening. So yeah, those are my big updates. 30-minute group. You have about 3 more minutes. And I'll have you come to a walk whenever that time goes at the 30. And then I'll give you about a minute. And then all of us are going to do 2 strides, which means 10 to 15 seconds, where we will just pick up the pace, running about 80% of your max for 10 to 15 seconds. And you will 10 to 15 seconds. You don't want to be taking bigger steps. You just want to be running as naturally as you can at that intensity. But also, if you need to do anything, it's not big steps. It's lots of little steps to increase your cadence. And we're just going to do 2 of those with a break in between. And then 30-minute crew, you'll be on your way. So, just got 2 minutes left. What can I tell you about in 2 minutes? I guess, is there any other little updates I can share? I did find out that my race is going to be, I should have figured this out. I don't know how I didn't register this when I signed up in Utah. The races I'm doing, the 50k, is at 7,000 to 9,000 feet, which is going to be tough to prep for, or very hard to prep for. And it's also going to likely be very, very hot for a big chunk of it. So I'm going to need to do some prep in terms of wearing lots of layers, because it's the end of May. So here in St. Louis, it's not going to be warm enough yet for me to have those, intense summer days to practice with. So I'm going to have to layer up, which means the sad thing is I'm not going to get to enjoy the perfect spring weather running days, because I'm going to have to put lots of layers on. So maybe that's what I did today. I underdressed because I know I'm going to have to overdress, because that's how it works, right? No, not at all. And I'm feeling okay now, mostly. I'm going into the wind in the shade right now, so I do feel a little bit cold. I definitely should have worn another layer, at least had gloves minimum, but it's not like, I don't think you can tell, right? You can't hear me go because I'm not quite there. Right, 30-minute group. We'll give you, 45 seconds or so to just walk, and then we'll do our strides in just a few minutes. We're all going to do this together. We need to pick a nice, safe spot where there's definitely no ice. And then we'll say adios. Just looking to make sure I can find a patch, because where I'm going to go up is a very icy road. Okay, I'm just going to, if you can bear with me, I'm just going to get myself up this hill so I can get onto a more main road that's definitely clear. All right, friends, are you ready to do a stride? Just 10 to 15 seconds, okay? 3, 2, and 1. And slow to a jog or a walk. Give you a little bit of rest. We'll go into another one. Again, these aren't meant to be all out. Just picking up, waking up our legs, picking it up a bit. I'll give you another 10 to 15 seconds, and then we'll go again. Three, 2, and 1. Off you go. And coming to a jog or a walk. And let's stop right here, do our picture. So I want you to stop right now. I've stopped. And just take a picture of either you or what you see. I'd really love to see these. I know it can feel like your one picture doesn't matter, but it really does. It makes me feel like you are actually appreciating these and enjoying them. So do that now. And we'll start again. Just a few seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Off you go. 30-minute group. Thank you so much for joining. Really loved having you with us. And that, because even though you're peeling out at 30, there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't make you any less than. Doesn't make you any less of a runner, any less of a person, any less tough. Well done to you for getting this done right now, and for joining us, taking the courage to listen to this, and taking the courage to listen to your body to stop. So if you're someone who should be stopping around now, but you're keeping going, just walk and listen to it. Don't injure yourself. Don't overdo it. It's not worth it. You are enough, my friend. Okay. Now, 45 and 60-minute group. We have a little time left. I want to talk through something that David had brought up a few weeks ago for me to talk about in these. And it is the relationship I have with my past self, like, me of elite running days, and also my competitiveness. David commented that sometimes I seem very at peace with that part of me. Like, if you did the best you could, which I do 100% agree, I did the best I could. But then other times I say I seem irritated or frustrated with that side of me, like I am struggling to understand. And where do I sit with that? The truth is, I think a lot of the time it does depend on where I'm at, who I'm talking to, and just how I'm feeling that day, I suppose. I want to get to the point, kind of like forgiveness. My therapist yesterday was talking about, we were talking about radical acceptance, which we do quite a lot. Something I need to keep working on. And he was saying that it's kind of like forgiveness, working towards forgiveness and working towards radical acceptance as we go. And so, I think with my past self, the Tina of 2008 to 2006, 2016, 2017, some days I feel like sorry for her. I'm sorry for myself because I just know the kind of conversations that were going on in my brain, and I just want to give myself a hug and tell myself it's okay, and tell myself that it's not as serious and as it seems, and it doesn't matter as much as it seems, and that people don't view me based on that. Well, some do, but they're not the people worth worrying about. But they view me based on the person I am inside. So some days I feel that way, but then I can also be honest with myself that right now I'm still doing it. I'm still doing the same things, like trying to get external validation, trying to get accolades, recognition. If I'm honest with myself, I'm still chasing that, but it's not so, I guess, intense. It's not so narrow in that it's just pinned on my running ability, my body's ability to perform in conditions I cannot control. And then other times with myself I feel angry for, when that competitiveness rises up in me, I kind of view that Tina of less than, of a kind of a less evolved person. And I was immature, or maybe not even immature, less mature, maybe at that time. Just felt, even the fact that I remember I would do my workouts and Steve would say, these cars, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know how, that for you this is really important. Like if there's nothing saying they can't hit you, or that they will move out the way for you, or that they know to. I was kind of very naively felt like I was invincible, and that it didn't matter who I interrupted in their daily life, because what I was doing was important. And so I feel like, which really, I mean, when we think about people's roles in lives being important, what I was doing compared to many people's roles in this world was so insignificant. But yeah, so that's where I kind of feel frustration or anger towards that Tina that felt she was invincible. I guess I've realised my frailty, is that the word? Just like how I'm not invincible, how newspaper, how I'm not invincible, how I'm not, unable to, I'm not so important, I guess. And that competitiveness that I feel rising up in me, sometimes it's almost like, if I'm totally honest, I look to people who are wiser, what I consider wiser, more, they understand the meaning of life. David, actually, you are even one of those people. I look at that and I want that, and I see that competitiveness, that past self being like taking me further away from that. So yeah, if I'm honest, that's kind of what I feel like. In general, I do have a very good relationship with myself. I'm confident in who I am. I feel like I can be myself in almost every situation, even if people aren't happy with it from my life. I can still be me, and I know it's on, it's their own internal stuff, not mine. But yeah, I guess I'm still reckoning with that past self and how I view her. And, would I take it back? Would I change it? Absolutely not. I'm not someone who believes in changing the past or changing anything. I think things kind of work the way they do. And dwelling on that is only going to bring just regret and sorrow, and yeah. But that said, I still, I guess I do I want to prevent other people from treating themselves the way I did, or living their life in that kind of obsessed with running state? Do I want to prevent that? Yeah, I think I do. Is that my place to do that? Probably not. So I think that's just some thoughts. A bit rambly, not really making any sense. But that's my honest truth. I didn't prep that, I didn't think it through, you just heard what came out as it came out. Now I would love to hear from you. Think about that. I'm just going to give you a few minutes to think it through for you. What relationship do you have with yourself now? With yourself from your past? Just think it through a little bit, what I've talked about today, and how did that sit within your story? Just give you a few minutes to do that. Okay. Just give you a few more seconds to wrap up any final thoughts you're having or conversation you're having with yourself. Just last bit of working through that. Okay, thank you for taking the time to do that. Like I said, still figuring it out, but also trying to understand that probably in 10 years' time, I'm going to look at this Tina and maybe think totally differently to what I think right now. And so I'm trying to remind myself that we're kind of always evolving, always moving and growing, and we never really know what our future's going to bring, what path we're going to end up down, but also the people we're going to come to meet and learn from and grow from, the life circumstances that could change everything. One thing I did do since we last recorded, when we get to 45-minute group, just come to a walk and then we'll go into our strides in a few minutes. I did take Bailey last weekend to see a performance of Last Stop on Market Street, which is a book we really love. We got it from the library a year or so ago and we loved it, and I saw they were doing a performance of it and I thought that's so cool. One of the write-ups on it said it was like a Hamilton for kids, and it really was. It was really cool. But in it they showed about not really knowing where people's paths have come from or gone to, and it was about not judging people and not assuming you're any better than other people. There's also quite modern twist added in it with the little boy in it, who's played by a man, was very addicted to his tablet and his phone, and realising by the end that stuff doesn't matter. But still, the fact that we are talking about that is quite funny, right? The world we live in. Okay. Are we ready for a stride? In 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk. We'll do one more of those in just a minute. And then 45-minute group, you will be on your way too. Share your photos, share what you enjoyed about this run. Hey, if you're brave enough, share a social media post about your relationship with your past self. I really would love to hear what this conversation prompted in you. So if you feel comfortable, share that. But your ratings and reviews on iTunes and your shares mean so much to me, so thank you. Okay, ready for one more stride? In 3, 2, and 1. And coming to a jog. If you're in the 60-minute group, 45, well done, you are finished. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Come join us for the self-compassion workshop, the self-compassion events, starting today, the day this came out. Oh no, starts on the 15th, so Tuesday. If you're listening to this on Monday, comes out tomorrow. There'll be information in the newsletter. So go sign up at runningforreal.com. Thank you. All right. And those of us still here, let's just go ahead, we're going to do a body scan. I'm going to have you do it at your own pace. What feels right for you, as in your own pace of speed you want to work through your body, not literal running pace. So let's just take a minute or two and do a body scan. Off you go. If your attention has wandered, gently bring it back. Just another few more seconds. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. So one other thing I wanted to share on my update thing before it started getting too long was that so lately I've fallen in love with houseplants, collecting them and loving them, and some of mine now are at the stage where they've got babies and you can take them off and put them in water, and I think at the time is propagate, where you grow new ones and then you can pass them along to friends. You can obviously keep them yourselves. And so we have a spider plant that has lots of little babies on it. So we decided to take 4 of them and put them in pots, or put them in it's actually in one of our Pyrex food containers, but it works. And so we put them in there, and they'll be in there for about 2 weeks in the water, and by the end of that, in theory, they have roots that you can put into soil. But the reason I bring it up is because I think we're about 4 or 5 days into them being in there, and the roots are already growing. Like every day I see more of a root. I'd say some of them, the roots are now at least 1 centimetre, which is amazing, right? Like, how incredible. And I'm like enjoying showing Bailey this process, but like just being able to witness that in your own face as an adult. Like, I know many of us would have done something like this as children. And so, yeah, I don't know maybe how much Bailey's taking in, but to just be able to understand the magic and the just the incredible fact of how things grow and how quickly and with ease they do so. It's just filling me right up, because I'm getting to see these roots of these spider plant, little mini spider plants starting to grow and knowing what they become. And so I think about that a lot as I run around here or anywhere, and you look at trees, you're just like, these started from like an acorn or something of the like a seed in the ground, and then grew those roots, and then those roots became bigger and bigger, and then obviously the shoot came through, and over many years, look at what they've done. It's beautiful, like, isn't it? I mean, what a gift. And those trees, those plants, they keep us alive, they give us life. Getting very philosophical, but like, you know what I mean? It's just mind-blowing. And so often we don't stop to think about it. Like how many factors had to come into play all at the same time to make this planet be what it is, and how each and everything is like a delicate balance of reliance on each other. And we're in here like thinking we're superior, but really everything works together in this beautiful way. So yeah, my spider plant babies got me thinking all philosophical. But it's amazing, and just wanted to share that with you as well. And if you don't have houseplants, I'm not saying you have to get them. They are, as we know, good for us, but definitely can become a bit of an addiction, where you just want to get all the varieties, and you want them everywhere. I'm really loving it. I told you before that Steve redid our deck, and we now have the little we got the spaces to do the box growing some vegetables and herbs. I'm really excited to dig into that, but also very intimidated. So if anyone is good at growing fruits and vegetables, especially in the little boxes, ours is it's going to be like some almost like troughs hanging off the side of the deck. Please share with me. I'm a total novice, and so all the advice you have, those of you who have been doing it for years, share away. I'd love to hear it. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes. We'll do our strides as we usually do, about 55 minutes, and so got about 3 left. So I think, why don't you pick one of your senses and just do a check-in with that, be it looking around you, be it listening, sense of touch. Just pick something and let's just pay attention to that for a minute or so. Just a few more seconds. Okay. I'd be curious as to what people picked. Was it? For me, I picked touch, tactile. It's definitely the sense that's jumping out to me. And my hands being cold was one of the main things, as is I need to pee. And so looking forward to being able to do that.
Yeah, so Brandon Shannon, our freelance manager, is I guess working on that now.
There you go. Got a little inside gossip. Brandon and Shannon are doing something. It kind of caught me off guard when he started talking as I was passing him. That's funny. Okay, so actually it's time for stride number 1, or stride number 5. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. and come to a jog. You can keep jogging in between these if you're able to run for 60 minutes. Just give a little bit more time. We'll do one more. Okay, we're ready. 3, 2, 1. And come to a jog. Nice work. Less than a minute to go, friends. And then we'll come to a walk together. Again, I love seeing your photos. Or share if you share about what you were thinking about the conversation that we had. Really love to see it. Makes me feel like I'm there with you. So thank you to all of those of you who have done that up to this point. Really love it and appreciate it. And if you want to host a together run, send me an email. Really would love to hear. Just tight turn. Hopefully there's no ice here. And coming to a walk. Well done, friends. Whew, 1 hour. Not feeling too bad considering my workout yesterday, but just a bit cold. Well, actually not bad, it's just my fingers now. But well done, friends. Thank you for joining. I'll see you Monday for another Together Run, and Friday for a regular podcast episode. And remember to go sign up for Together 22. Really would love to see you there. Thanks, friends. Oh, yes, let's connect with nature. Let's do that final thing. Find some element of nature to just reground yourself with. And I'll see you next Monday. Hi friends, just a quick message to say a big thank you to the Running for Real team. While I may be the face of Running for Real and the voice behind the podcast, there are a group of people who are working tirelessly to provide everything that runners could need within our community, to make our community stronger, better, and evolve and grow and learn from one another. We are working really hard to make Running for Real the place we believe it can be within our community. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone on our team. That is Victoria, Stacey, Sandy, Sally, Maria, Kelsey, Kat, Jeremy, and Erica. I appreciate each and every one of you and the hard work that you put in. Now let's get back to the show.